Welcome, and thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy this video, we invite those of you who haven't yet done so, to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the notification icon, to be notified when the next one is uploaded. We appreciate all comments, whether positive or negative, because it is very important to ventilate both sides of any issue. All we ask is that you observe the YouTube community guidelines. We'd like to urge those of you who haven't yet done so, to sign our online petition for an inquiry into the BBC and Channel 4's coverage of Lewis Hamilton and Abu Dhabi. A link has been provided in the description. If you are on X, then please repost our tweet. Thank you. Well folks, not quite sure what to make of this one, so we are looking forward to hearing what you make of it in the comments. One would have thought that the last thing Christian would want to do, as he celebrated Verstappen's fourth title, was bring up his ill-advised affair with his PA, but what do we know? It was some 10 months or so ago in February, when news of the affair reverberated throughout F1 and the wider world, overshadowing the start of the season. A civil war which threatened to split Red Bull wide open, broke out between board members, team members, and family members. The minority shareholder was pitched against the majority shareholder. The Europeans were pitched against the Brit, and the brat was caught between his father and his boss. Christian and his wife put on an unholy show of unity for media consumption, and F1 was going to hell in a Red Bull. The twists and turns of this unsavory affair kept overshadowing the sport, as the scandal careered on like Keir Starmer's premiership. Fiona was named everywhere but on lamestream F1 media, as details of the affair started to leak into the public domain. Nasty Spice and Ginger Spice staged a walkabout in the paddock, with the feminist icon led through the media scrum by her cheating husband, and she rewarded him with hugs and kisses. For thinking that this was not a feminist icon, blaming the other woman for seducing the serial adulterer, that she herself once helped to cheat on his then pregnant partner, to the alienation of his parents. The evidence appeared to us to suggest that this was a woman who was prepared to develop a relationship with her married boss, if it was going to lead somewhere, and when she concluded that it wasn't, she wanted to stop, but he wouldn't take no for an answer. Red Bull hired a very expensive, but anonymous male King's Counsel to carry out an independent investigation. He subsequently produced a strictly confidential report on the highest-profile workplace scandal in living memory, which surprisingly or unsurprisingly, depending on your outlook, cleared Christian of any wrongdoing. Then the report was swiftly undermined by the WhatsApp dump of several lurid messages that showed Christian harassing his PA for sexual favors. Nevertheless, the decision stood, and Christian was only guilty in the eyes of the public, as the Red Bull brand and reputation sunk lower. At the British Grand Prix, some 6 or so months after the news of the affair broke, the Horner clan put on another show of unity for media consumption. And, on this occasion they added the kids into the mix. Now, why these guys need to let the whole world know how strong, united and happy they are is beyond us, but what do we know? Somewhere along the way, Ginger Spice parlayed the media attention into a career relaunch, as she reverted to her maiden name. Christian kept his head down and his hands free, as his problem with Toto was overtaken by Toto's public meltdown. If you know, you know. Now, one would have thought that after all that, Christian would just let Toto continue doing the talking, but alas not. The straying husband took it upon himself to relive the sorry F1 affair by publicly reviving the story. In his exclusive interview with none other than the righteous Daily Mail, Christian hit back. But who the hell was he hitting back at? We are at a complete loss and cannot bring ourselves to even read the gaslighting article to find out, so we have to put it out there. If you can, please let us know who or what Christian is hitting back at, by revisiting the shameful affair that left all parties concerned seriously damaged. We are particularly struck by all the similar headlines that the Daily Mail interview generated, as Christian was somehow portrayed as the victim. We are not aware of what has become of Fiona, who many would consider the real victim, and are pretty sure that the Daily Mail interview and all its spin-offs shed no light on her status. The way the interview and spin-offs have all sung the same tune is reminiscent of how the one and only John Malone of Liberty Media, who has recently retaken the reins after sacking his CEO, directs media narratives. So, we have to wonder if he is sharpening his claws for 2025, when Sir Lewis will be doing battle in red. What better preparation than to portray Christian as the persecuted one? If you can sell Christian as the persecuted, you can sell anything. As some of our visitors have commented, the sacking of the Liberty Media CEO and the FIA race director could be a sign that John is looking for people made of sterner stuff to do what will need to be done next year, should Sir Lewis have a competitive Ferrari. There is of course the possibility that a serial philanderer like Christian could just be looking to relive his indiscretions. After all, he is going through something of a lean period at present. What better way to get his oats than recounting the sordid experience? It is public knowledge that he never quite got to hit it before having to quit it, and who knows how that has affected him. The one that got away and all that. So, if anyone knows what has happened to Fiona since, please let us know. Has she returned to her post at Red Bull or what? And as Christian is celebrating Verstappen's fourth, he might just be recalling how he celebrated last year's. Plane journeys to and from races aren't what they used to be. As the French have told many a Mrs. Johnson, when a mistress becomes a wife, a vacancy opens up. Fiona resisted filling the vacancy that Ginger Spice had left behind, and Nasty Spice still needs that vacancy filled to spice things up for him. In conclusion, we can't think of any cogent reasons other than the ones mentioned, as to why a man would publicly relive a sordid affair that caused his wife and family so much pain and embarrassment. We take the view that Christian has either done it because someone, who we believe to be John Malone, needs to do a test run for 2025. Or, Nasty Spice is just getting off on reliving the sordid affair. What do you think? Forza Ferrari.